Hi there and welcome to Scrap and Coffee. Today we are going to start on a new project. It's going to be a year project and I'm going to call it a year in Polaroid. So I have this amazing collection lying in front of me and it's a collection by Pink Paislee. It's called Again and Again. And I have several elements out of the collection. And I'm going to make a project that will take me the whole year to complete. I'm going to call it a year in Polaroid. And it's actually an idea that I got from another YouTuber. Her name is Amanda Lee. She does bullet journaling and some other stuff as well on YouTube. If you don't know her, I'll put a link down in the description box. And in her bullet journal layout, she did for the last 2 years, she did a spread that she called a year in Polaroid or my year in pictures, something like that. And it really inspired me to do actually the same thing in scrapbooking. I'm going to make a scrapbook mini album with 12 layouts, one layout for each month. And I'm going to do it in a Polaroid style. So I'm going to place every photo in a little Polaroid frame. In this video I will be making the base of it. And then in the next couple of months, well, the whole year, in the first week of the year, like in February, the first week of February, I will make the layout for January. And with the photo and everything, we will make some embellishments all out of this collection. So it won't be theme based. It's not like in April we have spring paper and in October we have Halloween. No, it's just this collection and just make a pretty scrapbook album out of it. So I hope that gives you an idea of what I'm going to do. And yeah, I'll just say let's get started. So I have to say I already did some preparations for this scrapbook album because I was actually wanted to sew around the edges of my pages, but I'm not really good with a sewing machine. I've tried it on some scrap pieces and I just didn't like the results, so I'm not going to do it. So what I did is I choose 12 pieces of pattern paper out of the collection and glue them together. I cut them to 7 by 5 inches. So that's going to be the measurement of the page. It's 5 inches by 7 long. And I just laid them together and I just decided on the what do you call it, in the order they have to go. So this is what I'm going to be doing. These are my pages actually. And then I am going to make a chipboard cover. And for the so I'm going to lay this to the side for now. They just are prepared already. For the chipboard cover, I have cut 2 pieces that measure 7.5 by 5.5. And I'm going to make holes in there and with some D-rings, and I just have these lying around. These are only 1 inch, so I think they are too small and I have to get me some bigger ones, but for now they will work. So I'm going to put some holes through here and just that's going to keep the whole thing together. But I am going to wrap the chipboard with some pattern paper because I just like it that way. And this is a little strip that I'm going to use to determine where the holes needs to be. So what I wanted to do was just show you the collection really quick, but I've already put some papers out there, but I will just go from the back. So there it's complete. So we have this one. It's really a lot of pink, some blue and some gold foil in there. So it's just really feminine paper collection actually. Some flowers. This is what I will be using for the cover. This is the only paper that I actually didn't really get. It's the only green paper in there. And for me personally, it just doesn't go with the collection. But maybe other people will think differently. So I really love this one with the butterflies and this one. And some cut aparts. And then it repeats itself. So that's the actual 12 by 12 paper pad collection that we will be using. So I am going to use this one And the other one, I will be needing the other one as well for the cover. Okay, so I put my crafting mat on my desk. I know it's a little bit messing with the light, but yeah, I'm starting to ruin my desk a little bit, so I'm going to work on that one. So like I said, I had the 2 chipboard pieces for the cover, 7.5 by 5.5, and I cut 2 pieces out of that pattern paper, and this is 6 3/4. Let me see that I'm saying it correctly. 6 3/4 by 8 3/4. And with this, I'm going to wrap these pieces. And so we are going to start with just one of each. I'm going to lay it on here, just trying to make it centered. Okay, that will be just fine. So I'm going to get myself a big roll of double-sided tape here and cover this piece of chipboard with that double-sided tape. And I just love these big rolls because it makes it go really quick. Well, if you're able to get it on there without being too messy. Oh, and it just sticks so badly to my other surfaces that... where's my knife? Where are you? Where did I leave you? And there you are. So that's one, and I'm just going to do the same thing here on the bottom and just cut away what I'm not using, and I can use it on something else or on the other piece. And I'm not trying to be too neat, it's not all that of a big deal. And I have a hair on here. So I just place it on my big roll here for now. Give this a little burnish. And what I would do is just draw some lines here to guide me, but I think if I just take my time, I will be able to get it on there centered enough. So I'm going to remove the tape backing. And just take my time trying to get it on there centered. And if you're off a little bit, that's okay. So normally when I make my cover, I would take about 1 inch of border to wrap around my piece, but now I just kept it a little bit smaller because that way I could use the scrap piece of the pattern paper to cover the inside of the chipboard. And I think this will just be enough to cover it all. And I will be getting my little ruler here to draw a little border, and I am going to take my time to do it a bit more careful because I have that smaller border right now to work with. Maybe I need to cut a little bit further away on that one, but then I will get my tape, and I'm just going to use my 1/4 inch tape, and I see my roll is almost finished, so toilet paper burnish here. Now I'm going to cut on my pencil marks that I've made. So if you want to have a more detailed explanation about wrapping the chipboard, then I will put a link on top to one of my videos for that. And now I'm just going to pre-fold on it. And I know this is a bit of a dark pattern paper, but I will use a lot of other elements on there that will hopefully lighten it up a little bit. And I'm also going to use my art glitter glue for the edges. And I did see that with this pattern paper you have to be a little bit careful with the cracking, but no, I'm not going to ink anything on this album, so I think I actually don't really mind if it happens, but yeah, give it a little bit more of a grungy look. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the sewing that just was far from perfect. It was just not making it not pretty at all. So I just need to practice that a little bit more before I will actually do that on this on my projects, I think. So. But yeah, I was thinking probably sewing on paper is easier than sewing on fabric. And I think it is. It's easier to keep it all straight and stuff, but still I'm just not I'm not good at it. And that's fine. So that's the first side. That's one. And then what I will be needing, and just close my little glue here. So this, let's see, I will do the other piece off camera quickly. So this is the scrap piece that I've had from cutting out that big piece for wrapping it. And I'm going to cut it to size and just cover the inside with that as well. So I'll do a quick measurements, but I probably need 7 1/4. Yes. So just get the big paper trimmer in there quickly, if it fits. I don't have a lot of room to work on, but 7 1/4. So no inking, nothing. Just need to give this a really good burnish. And I have a feeling that I forgot to remove the tape backing here, and I did. Yes, so that will stick much better now. Okay, so this will go right on top of that and just complete that part. So I think I will use some double-sided tape for that as well. Just make sure those edges really stick nicely to the other piece. Okay, give that a burnish again. Give it a really good stick. Well, there's not really a right or wrong way. It's not a directional paper, so I can just place it. And I have a little bit of overhang here of the tape. Okay, just carefully. I need about a 1/8 of an inch border. And again, give that a burnish. So this will be the front or the back of the album. Probably the back because I have a little bit of cracking here. So we'll see what I can do to prevent that on the other one. Maybe score it a little bit. So I had that white strip. And this strip measures 3/4 of an inch. Because I've decided that the holes that I'm going to make, I wanted to have them 3/8 of an inch inwards. So I fold it in half. So that fold line will be at that 3/8 of an inch. What I'm going to do, it's the exact same height as the piece itself, 7.5 inches. And I'm going to make 3 holes. So I'm going to fold this in half. No need for scoring or anything. So I'm folding it in half and I'm folding it in half again. And it doesn't have to be completely perfect, but get it as perfect as you can. So now when I open this piece up, I have 1, 2, 3 fold lines here. And that are the places where I am going to make my holes. So when I get my crocodile, and I'm going to use the larger hole punch, I had the fold line over the length of the piece, and then I have the 3 small fold lines, so they are forming a little intersection, and I'm going to make a hole in the middle of that. And it's a little bit hard to see with the lighting. So that's one. So what this does for me is it spaces out the holes evenly. So if you're off a little bit, that's okay. It's not like it's not going to work or anything, but it's just you have nice evenly spaced out holes in there. So what I can do now is get my pencil. I'm placing it on there, and what I'm also going to do is, just to be sure it's the same, I'm going to write top here. So I know that I'm going to keep that one on the top for the pieces. And then it's the same on both pieces, just in case you're off a little bit. So I'm going to make my pencil mark here, here, and here. And then I can make my holes. So I'm going to keep this for the other piece. Again, the 3/16. And I'm just going to line that up and make the hole in there. And then you have to get that piece out of there. And then the last one. So I'm going to do the exact same thing on my other chipboard piece, and then we will have our basic front and back cover. So I've made the second cover, and I do have to say that I've used this one on the first one to decide where the holes needed to go. But for the second one, I just decided to place them on top of each other, and I just marked it through the holes, so I was sure that the holes were on the same spot. So this is more this is really handy for just spacing out the holes, and then I would just use the first one as a template for the rest. And I'm going to do the same thing with the actual pages. So like I said before, these are just out of 12 pieces of patterned paper. I cut pieces 7 by 5 and I just glue them together. So that gives me 6 pages. And what I am going to do is I'm going to line it up with that little, I've placed that piece on top of here and I have a 1/8 of an inch border. So I'm going to line that up with that edge of that piece. And then I'm going to make my marks on where my holes need to be. So let's see if there is an easy way of doing this. Maybe I can just line it up. And I also have to look at the top and the bottom, of course. Let's see if I line this up like that, hold it in place, and maybe just make the hole again the bigger hole. So I don't wanna. Yes, that's one. Get out of there. It's so annoying when they don't, that piece doesn't want to come out. That's 2. The last one. Yes. So again, I've used this as a template for making the holes in the pages. And now I can just, let's see, I want to keep them in order because otherwise I'm afraid I'll forget. I'm just going to do the same thing with the pages, just line it up. I think I can do 2 at a time. Okay, that's it. So the cover, and let's see, I have one with a lot of cracking. That was going to be the back. That was this one. That, and then that. So now I can get my rings, and I have 3. I should be having 3. So these are pink ones, but I think I will be ordering just some plain metal ones, a little bit larger, because like I said, these are 1 inch and I think it will be a little bit too small for the project. So let's get them opened up, and then I will start at the back. Close it up, and it's pretty thin for now, but we will bulk it up as we go throughout the year. So this is the base of our Year in Polaroid scrapbook album, and I'm already pretty happy with what we've got so far. So I think this is a good stopping point for now, for this video. So this is really just making the base of the album. So in the next video, we will be decorating the front cover, and I will be making a shaker for that one. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day.